order. Our first order of business is to deal with the minutes of the November 16th meeting. What are the trustees' wishes?
Move approval.
We have a motion and a second. Cast your votes. And it is so approved. Next on the agenda, the director's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. I do have a couple of comments in my report this morning. I often comment on how our boarding passengers are doing from month to month. And we had another really good month in November of 2011. We were actually 4.7% over November of 2010. So last month I reported we had 6 straight increases of passenger boarding enplanements comparing this year to last year, and now we've had 7. So I think that's very, very good. And we really can't point to a specific reason for that except that business travel seems to be picking up. And this month of December and January will be very good because we're picking up a lot of leisure travelers for the holidays, and also many of the charters going to the bowl games, particularly the Fiesta Bowl with OSU, will be going through the terminal. So we'll see a lot of passengers coming through the next month or so. So just wanted to make that comment. Also, I wanted to note that the Parity Shops, which is the retail concession vendor in the terminal at Will Rogers World Airport, had a grand opening of all their new stores, and they did an outstanding job. And they had Barry Sanders, who is the Heisman Trophy winner for Oklahoma State University, in attendance, and he signed photos, and he signed them for a very, very long time. It was quite a stack, and the line just never seemed to end, even though this was all past security. So an outstanding event for the airport and the Parity Shops, and a lot of people got to meet Barry Sanders and talk to him. It was very great.
Thank you, Mark. Moving on the agenda, Will Rogers World Airport.
Thank you. Item A is to approve supplement number 2 to the bid contract with JetBridge International Incorporated. This is for inspection and maintenance of our 17 passenger loading bridges, extending the term for 1 year, commencing January the 23rd. Item B is to approve change order number 1 to the 2010 electrical upgrades projects for Mike Monroney Aeronautical Center, adding $24,590. Item C is to approve change order number 2 for the reconstruction and resurface of portions of various roadways and parking lots on the Mike Monroney Aeronautical Center campus, adding $13,950. Item D is concurring with the Consultant Review Committee, authorizing negotiation of a consultant services agreement with the TMC Company. This is for project management oversight associated with the TSA checked baggage inspection system project. Item E is to approve addendum 1 for the parking lot number 2 lighting improvements, maintenance building generator relocation, and the installation of air curtains in the terminal and also in our parking garage in the tunnel. Accepting the recommendation on the bids opened on November 22nd, awarding the base contract and alternates 1 and 2 to Dane and Associates Electric Company for $348,750, approving the contract and the bonds. Item F is approving change order number 1 for our garage A and B repairs structural rehabilitation project, adding $142,353.07, adding 39 days. Item G is to approve an amendment that we have with the Transportation Security Administration for the installation and operation of a closed-circuit television camera system, extending the term of this agreement to January 31st, 2012. Item H is to approve the certificate of substantial completion for the installation and maintenance of the closed-circuit television system project. This is the item related to item G. Item I is to adopt the resolution to approve the operational procedures for all vehicles for hire at Will Rogers World Airport. And last, item J is to adopt the resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of some communication network equipment with Presidio Corporation, utilizing state contracts in the amount not to exceed $32,500. That's all the items under Will Rogers.
Okay, trustees, you've heard the items under Will Rogers. What is your wishes?
Move item 4. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, Mark, could you tell us a little bit about the changes you've made with vehicles for hire?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Couch. We have had operational procedures with taxi cabs and shuttle companies for many, many years. The growth of the ground transportation industry at Will Rogers, adding more cabs to the mix to serve the public as well as more shuttle companies, has created some growing pains for the airport. Our procedures needed to be revised anyway, but because of the growth of that industry at the airport, we actually had to move the queue, which was on Southwest 67th Street. We had to create a brand new staging area, which is just north of Southwest Amelia Earhart, north of our economy parking lot. And that's in operation and moving and doing very, very well. We also adjusted the procedures for our permitting process with drivers, tightened up how the transfer of vehicles can be done from one company to another or within the company itself. We had at least one meeting with all the operators where I personally gave a slide presentation on all the revised procedures. We sent the revised procedures out twice to all the vehicle operators, and we got very few comments, and those that we did get, we were able to resolve any concerns that the operators had. So this is going to be a dramatic impact on staff as how we manage the process. It's not going to be, I don't think, too dramatic for the operators, but the procedures are definitely improved and will set the stage for us moving forward as we handle the challenges of these cabs and shuttles that are serving the public.
Any other questions? Did we get a motion and a second?
Yes.
Okay, please cast your votes. And it is approved or concurred or ratified. Moving on to general.
Thank you. Item A is to approve receive the delinquent accounts receivable report, project status report, and the budget to actual report. Item B is to receive the Oklahoma City Department of Airports Comprehensive Annual Financial Report for fiscal year ended June 30, 2011. Item C is to approve the plans and project manual for the annual electrical and street lighting repairs and maintenance contract, authorizing advertisement of bids to be opened on January the 17th, 2012. Item D is adopting the resolution authorizing the sole source purchase of liquid and solid de-icing chemicals for our airfield from Cryotech De-icing Technology in an amount not to exceed $175,000. And last is item E, to approve the professional services agreement with C.H. Guernsey and Company for our on-call facility maintenance engineering agreement for 1 year beginning January 1, 2012.
Action from the trustees or questions?
Move approval.
We have a motion and a second. Mark, how about making a comment? The CAFR, what were the auditor's overall comments in that?
The auditors didn't have any management findings at all with the audit, with the CAFR and with the audit that we just went through with BKD. So that information will probably be coming at a subsequent trust meeting, but they had no findings. And we had a very good year financially with the trust. There were several things that we were able to do that increased some revenues for us, and we had some bond debt that was paid off, which was a big part of it. We refunded some bonds, which gave the trust some savings on indebtedness. AAR, for instance, refinanced on their own Hangar 3A as part of their financing package for their facility and lease. So very, very good.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? We had a motion and a second. Please cast your votes. And it is so approved. Lease agreements.
Under lease agreements, item A is to approve a lands lease agreement with Roy and Janice Nuttall for 1.6 acres for grazing purposes at Wiley Post Airport. Item B and C are approving supplements with Ameriflight and Martin Air Aviation LLC, respectively. This is to extend the terms of their premises and facilities in association with them providing air cargo services for 1 year in accordance with the non-signatory commercial aircraft landing fee agreement. Item D is approving a supplement agreement number 2 to the passenger airline operating and lease agreement with Southwest Airlines, extending the term for 18 months and revising the Exhibit N, which deals with future projects at Will Rogers World Airport. Item E is approving supplement number 2 to the air cargo carrier operating agreement with signatory carriers with United Parcel Service Company, also extending the term for 18 months, commencing January 1, 2012, adjusting landing fees only. Item F is a facility lease supplement with United Parcel Service Incorporated for their facilities at the airport for their operation of their air freight carrier and handling service for 1 year, commencing January 1, 2012. I have a special comment on item G. It's a consent and assignment and assumption agreement. We had been negotiating this agreement with the attorneys for these parties as recently as Monday, and there was a change where Aviation Associates was assigning the lease and the fuel operating agreement to Mustang Fuel Corporation. Previously, we had been dealing with the parties, and it was going to be Aviation Associates, LLC. Because this item was posted incorrectly and we did not get Mustang Fuel Corporation on the agenda language, unfortunately, because of the 24-hour notice, and the legal department is advised that we have to strike this item. So I apologize to the trust, and I apologize to the parties that we have to do that. We do want to visit a little bit with trustees and staff after this, because we want to try to see if we can't have a special meeting called in the next few days so that we can get this on, because some of this is time critical. We also want to docket this item, I think, for the council on January the 3rd, back-to-back, if we can do that. So we will be striking this item today.
Okay. And we can so order to be stricken? It's so ordered?
And also the parties have been notified and they're aware of this. Item H is accepting the assumption agreement and use guarantee for the sale of a T-Hangar Unit 808 from Edward Livermore to Moon Aviation in accordance with the lease agreement with PWA Incorporated. Item I is accepting the assumption agreement and use guarantee for the sale of a T-Hangar Unit 1309 from Daniel and Lucinda Rowe to Blue Dolphin Energy, LLC. Item J is accepting the assumption agreement and use guarantee for another T-Hangar Unit 2003 from the Samples Group, LLC, to Sutton Management Services, LLC. And items K through the rest of your agenda under leases through W all represent ground leases at Clarence E. Page Airport, where these individuals have existing leases with us, but either their options have run out and we have new agreements we're executing. These are for 5-year periods where these individuals construct their own hangar facilities on our ground lease lot for the storage of their privately owned aircraft. So I won't read each one of those, but they're all identical. And that completes all the items for lease agreements. So we're requesting approval for all leases with the exception of item G to be stricken.
Thank you, sir. What is the trustees' desires?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please cast your votes. And it is so done. Roman numeral 7.
Move approval.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the requisition resolution and the other items under 7. Any other discussion? Seeing none, cast your votes. And it is approved. Comments from trustees? Other than the chairman says Merry Christmas and have a prosperous New Year. Keep those planes flying, Mark. Comments from staff? Seeing none, any citizens wishing to be heard? Seeing none, we are adjourned.